Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good evening. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, 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 Monday. It's Monday, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it is Monday. I don't know, but it seems like we just started the year and we're in February already, the 13th day. Time is just flying. No, time just needs to really slow down because it's not making sense. It's making sense because it's just way too much that is going on too quick, too fast, and time just needs to slow down. Time just needs to slow down. It just needs to slow down. Anyway, good evening, good evening, good evening. Happy Monday. Welcome, 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 welcome. Good evening, y'all. Let me give y'all a chance to come in. Good evening. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. I know some of you are still at work. Some of you probably driving home. But good evening to everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Valentine's Eve to those of you that celebrate or will be celebrating. Happy Valentine's Day to you. It's just been a wonderful evening. For me so far, I'm getting my gifts already, and it's let me tell you something. I got a surprise today, and I'm just really happy about the surprise that I got. And it's just amazing how things are just happening and just moving. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Monday. I'm just grateful for everybody who celebrates love, because to me we celebrate love every single day. We celebrate love every day, and it's always a good opportunity to celebrate the persons that you love. Now, some of you may not be married, and it's okay, but we just want to, celebrate your loved one. Maybe you have a BFF and you're both single. Go to dinner. Nothing is wrong with it. So we're going to talk about celebrating love today, myself and Evangelist Nikki. And so we're just going to be talking tonight about love. How do we show appreciation to the persons that we love? How do we show love to our persons? Move over some, evangelists. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. We just want to show how we celebrate love to our loved ones, our family, our children, our friends, even our church brothers and sisters. How do we show love to them? So, I'm telling you, love is not just about your spouse. I know tomorrow is Valentine's, and it's still not about your spouse, because if you're not married, if you're single and not dating anyone, you know, you have family members that you can celebrate. If your mom is still living, your dad, your grandparents, if you had kids, we're gonna celebrate love. Let's welcome the lovely Ms. Evangelist Nikki McKenzie. So we're just happy to have her on with us this evening. And so I'm really grateful because love is a beautiful thing. When you've experienced love, it's so amazing to be loved. Luther Vandross said it. It's so amazing to be loved. To follow you to the moon and the sky above. So amazing. Listen, love is beautiful when it's shared between two persons that love each other. And so we're going to talk about that this evening, right? How do we show love and appreciation to each other? And I should have included in the title family also, but that includes each other. Amen. Evangelist Nikki, come on in and greet the people, and then we're going to get started on our session on tonight.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. Having a bit of technical difficulties. It's one of those Mondays.
That's
But good to be on. Good to be on. Yes, yes. And you hit the nail right on the head. Good afternoon. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Happy Monday. Yes, we're still on the topic the entire month of February. It's all about love, all about love. And one thing I love with you and I, Evangelist, we connect so well, because one of the concerns I was getting, like you see, is that everyone's like, oh, it's all about couples. I hate this holiday. And, all the negative things that people have been hurt, and people who single, and they make this big deal that it's only for a couple. And like you said, For us, it's not about Valentine's. It's about making time to celebrate the people that matters to us the most. Great if you're in a relationship. If you're not, great, you can still celebrate you, the awesome you. Celebrate the people that matters to you, people you care about. Take time out. And I know a lot of folks are saying, you guys only choose one day out of the entire year. I said, some people, that's all they have. We'll take it, right? Some can choose to do it every day, every other day, every month, every bi-weekly, whatever works for you. We're saying the fact that this day is set aside, make it count. Instead of complaining what you don't have, take time to celebrate the awesome you, your pet, your significant other, your family, your church family, like you said, people that you know that without a doubt have your back, support you, even your colleagues, your co-workers, celebrate them. Yesterday at one of our sister church, they'd give out roses. I mean, I was virtually, but it's just to show that, listen, I might not be able to be there all the time for you, but I want to let you know that I think about you. I celebrate the awesome you. That's what it's all about. So please don't get flustered, don't get hyperventilated, don't get frustrated when you go to the store, the house, you see all this pink and red going around, and you leave, you go home with a headache and stressing out of the ex that's done gone and all of that. Celebrate the time that you had because there was good time. Celebrate those good memories, right? So that's what we're here to talk about today. There's no one size fits all in anything we do. We just want to take the time out because I know some people even said, well, this is not biblical. And listen, if it's one thing that Evangelist and I agree on, any opportunity to celebrate love, we're all about it. We are all about celebrating love. So definitely good to be back. Good to be back. And just some few nuggets we'll be sharing with each and every one to help us celebrate the awesome you, the awesome family and friends and colleagues that you have.
All right. Thank you so much, Evangelist Nikki. And listen, let me tell you something. I think the best person that you can celebrate during this month or even tomorrow is yourself. What about loving on yourself? People love on themselves. Sometimes we wait for others to show us love, but what about you showing yourself love? Sometimes we depend on other people to show us love, and then we become disappointed when that love is not given to us from someone else. And so when we celebrate ourselves and when we love on ourselves, if others don't, it's okay, but then it's not okay. But you know that you celebrate and you love yourself, right? And if you have a spouse, we have to show love to our spouse because love is reciprocated, right? It goes both ways. Sometimes, like most of the time, women, I don't hear men say it too much, but men says it too. I don't hear too many men say, "Oh, my wife don't love me," right? But I hear the women, us women, we're always saying, I don't think my husband love me, or if you're not married, I don't think the person I'm with love me. But do you love yourself? That should be, we might take that further after Valentine's Day, because we want to know that you love yourself. That it begins with us. Everything begins in us, right? Because if we don't love ourselves, like I said, we cannot truly give love to somebody else or show love to somebody else. So a few things that we're going to talk about today on how to show appreciation to each other when we say we love them. And I just want to say good evening to everyone. Those of you that are watching on YouTube, those of you that are watching on Facebook, thank you for joining. Thank you. Do us a favor. Share this broadcast out. Help us to, show us some love. Show us some love and share.
See, there's another way, right? See, it goes around. It goes around. Spread the love with someone else. I agree, Evangelist. I agree.
So one way, and listen, what the tools or the tips that we're going to give you is not all inclusive to just this. These are just some of the ways that you can show love and appreciation for each other. And if we don't mention it and you do it, good. And if we mention it and you don't do it, start doing. Now, I want to give a big shout out to my Yaya, my friend of over 40 years. Tomorrow is her birthday. My friend Lady Karen Pfeiffer, tomorrow is her birthday, and I just want to give a big shout out to my big sis. Happy birthday when it comes. All right. I love you. I love you. I love you. Love you enough. Mwah, right. So, a lot of times, we don't show love. And I can't express that enough. You have to be what you want to receive, right? You have to be what you want to receive. Now, words. You have to give positive words. That's a way of showing appreciation to your loved one. Words of kindness, words you should be giving them. And a lot of times, how often do you give kind words to your spouse? Do you wake up frumpy and be like, they say good morning honey, you be like, what's so good about the morning? You know what I mean? Maybe you didn't have a good night's rest, but it's morning and you're awake, and kind words go a long way. I'm telling you. Let me tell you something. Words hurt and words cure, and words heal. It makes you feel better. So if you're a person that don't speak kind words or give kind words, I'm not sure, or I don't know what to say to you if you're not receiving them back. Because the law of reciprocity is, whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So if you're sowing kind words, you're going to get back kind words. But what I'm realizing is that the kind words from the person, or that we give them to, we may not get them back from that person, but it do come from outside sources or other sources. And it's really good when it comes from the inside. It comes especially within your husband and wife and children's sphere, right? So it's really nice when we can give good words of affirmation. Now, if words of affirmation is your love language, you want to hear that. You want to hear that affirmation. I love you. You're gorgeous. I appreciate you. Oh my God, you're just so awesome. You're one in a million. You know what I mean? You're beautiful. You have the best smile. You know what I mean? So give words of affirmation, good words, positive words. I love you. They get your, listen, when my husband get dressed, I'm like, can I take you out? And he's like, my wife, you might not want to do that because I got a wife, but I tell him how good he looks and how good he smells. I'm like, certain colors that he put on, I'm like, babe, my God, that color look good on you. So kind words. Listen, let me tell you something about words. And Evangelist Nikki's going to come in with another way, right? Of appreciation. When you give your spouse good words of affirmation, when they go out there and somebody may give them the same words, they're not fall easily prey to that person and now fall into emotional infidelity. Because why? They're hearing it from you. So when you speak it, right? Faith comes by hearing. And hearing words of affirmation. So it's awesome when we can give words of affirmation and good words of comfort to our spouse. Let's be that person that's always speaking life into our spouse. All right? Evangelist Nikki, give us another way that we can show appreciation to each other.
And you absolutely right, Evangelist. Like you were speaking about appreciating each other and be that change we want to see. And as we all know, for those who haven't accepted yet, because love is something that we give. Like you said, a lot of people sitting around waiting for others to affirm them, others waiting around to love them. Like you said, we'll do a temperature check. Do you love me? Right? But normally when we as women do that, it's not something that happened that let us does not feel love in that moment. So we don't address that situation. We put a button and say, do you love me? Because we're saying what you didn't let me feel love. But love is actually something that we give. And like you said, you sow in love, you will reap in love. And as you touch on affirmation, as Gary Chapman had coined, and like I said, there's no absolute to this, there's no exact science to the 5 love language. One of the things that we want to stress, if your love language is word of affirmation, appreciating that person, just saying it authentically, like you said, flirting around, hey, you look good in that suit, you make that suit look good. It means something to them. Show them that you appreciate them if it matters to them, and that's what their love language is. Because a lot of time over Valentine's, like you said, a lot of people get disappointed because they're saying that person don't love me. Because, for example, my husband knows me very well. My love language is not gifts. And it's not gifts. So if your love language is gift and you're overshadowing your significant other with gift, honestly, you're being selfish. Because see, that makes you feel good, but you're not considering how does that make that person feel. So listen, I do take gifts, but I do take thoughtful gifts. Let me clarify that. I do take gifts, but it has to be thoughtful. It's something that I can use, something that matters to me, something that fulfill a need for me. Don't just think about giving me something just because. You see, you know, they have like two for BOGO or something. It's all, let me just buy one and let me just give me. That's not gonna work for me, because to me, you have to know me to buy me gifts. Because I literally look at you and say, you really shouldn't have. And I really mean it. You shouldn't have. Honestly, because that's not my love language. And if you buy me something, it has to be something I can either use in my work day, you know, something to help my day better, help my life better. Don't just give me something to collect dust in my house, because I will take it to Salvation Army. So I don't want you to waste your money on that. Honestly. So what I'm saying to say, I'm not being selfish. I said, oh, she's ungrateful. What I'm saying is be thoughtful. Don't just buy something because it makes you feel good. Think about how does it make that person feel when you're doing it. So that's why it's important to study the person you're with, right? If affirmation means a lot to them, as they say, oh, you never appreciate me, you never say thank you. You know, see what I'm saying? That is telling you they need to be affirmed. Thank you for taking out the garbage. Thank you for picking up the mail. Something, you know, that means a lot to that person. Might not mean anything to you, but to that person, it means a lot. So for this holiday, we want you to make sure you're knowing your personal love language. And like I said, there's no absolute. Like for some of us, not pointing finger, quality time is important to us, right? Don't say, listen, I do take a roses every now and then. I already start getting roses, right? But it's a thought, right? But quality time is my love language. And one of the things, and my husband's love language, one of his love language is act of service. I usually be frustrated. He'll be in the room with me, and if he go on his phone, start them playing game or whatever, back then until, you know, come to maturity, I'll complain like, you're not giving me no attention. We'll be sitting on the couch, right? Watching a game or watching something. Like yesterday we had Super Bowl. We always sitting there watching Super Bowl. We're able to enjoy the commercial together, talking about it and stuff like that, because for him, he's enjoying the game, and for me, I'm spending quality time. Right? But before we knew each other love language, it was like a tug of war, right? He'll cook, he's like act of service. He'll make me breakfast in bed and stuff like that. And I'll say thank you, but then I'll complain, but you're not here with me, the little thing. But until we study each other and realize the thing that we complain the most about is what's important to us. So we want you to be thoughtful. Not about what you want for you. Don't give the person, a whole bunch of gifts, because gifts you go back and it makes you feel good. What does, like Evangelist said, is affirmation, is that personal love language, and that's what you're gonna give to that person. So a lot of time we want to, I'll feed you in my love language, but that doesn't do anything for you.
Right.
We need to be thoughtful. If physical touch is our personal love language, a massage might work for them. Might not mean anything to you because you want the roses, right? Mm-hmm. So if physical touch is my love language, so to speak, and you buy me roses, I would like, you didn't do anything for me for Valentine's. You see where the disconnect comes in. So we wanted to avoid that over this holiday, this Valentine's season week, right? Make sure that when the person gives you something, even though it might not be what your love language is, but be mindful. If you never had that conversation. So if somebody buy you a whole bunch of, chocolate and stuff, and you're like, I don't like chocolate, it's not my thing. But you realize that that's what that person needs. That's that personal love language. So we did so many podcasts on communication, right? Studying each other, understanding each other's temperament, what makes each other happy. Because you'll find that disconnect, and a lot of people be crying, calling their girlfriend, complaining, I can't believe you didn't think about this. I can't believe you didn't hear me complaining about it. And how could he? We want you to be mindful. Don't give something because it makes you feel good. Think about the other person. Think about, the quality time, how it's important to you. Might not be important to the other person, but they need to hear a word of affirmation. That person, you might like physical touch. The other person might like act of service. You got to figure out how to incorporate that in to make each other feel happier. So you're not feeling overwhelmed. You're not feeling stressed out. Like, I did all of this. I did all the cooking. I did all the cleaning. I did all the laundry. And he just sitting there complaining that I'm not giving him no attention after all I just did. Because to you, act of service is important. Physical touch might be. So what you do to incorporate that when you're doing active service, if you're doing the laundry, incorporate that. One is loading the dryer, right? One is doing the, taking out the laundry. You guys take time to pull it together, working together, touching on each other, playing around. That's another way of incorporating it too. If part of the time is your thing, active service is your thing, cook together, make a breakfast together, right? One might be passing the salt, or one might be stirring the pot, but you are together, so you're getting a twofer. Right? Like I said last night, we were watching the game together, right? So I'm spending quality time, and we both have physical touch, right? So we both get to celebrate, none of our team play, but we incorporate that in, because you have to know your person, what matters to them. So we don't want you to be disappointed. And like I said, even if it's not your spouse and it's your child, if it's your family member, if it's your friend, if you're a church member, right? Don't say, they shouldn't have, right? And be like, I was the whole person then. I'm a new creature now, right? But be thoughtful. Don't just say, I just have to do it just because. Then don't worry. Don't do it. If it's a pressure for you to do, it's not coming from a genuine place, and it will not be received as authentic. So we want you to be mindful. Love is something that you give freely, not because it makes you feel good, because you're making the other person happier. And in return, guess what will happen? It will come back to you.
That's true. Thank you so much, Nikki. You covered a lot in one, and I appreciate that, because a lot of times, do you know your love language? Do you know your love language? Because that could be a thing too. If you don't know your love language, then you're all over the place. You don't know if you want affirmation. You don't know if you want gifts. You don't want quality time. You don't know if you want touch. You know what I mean? So when you know your love language, it makes it easier for your spouse. And it's nothing wrong with telling your spouse your love language. Yeah. It's nothing wrong with it, because number one, I'm not a mind reader. My husband is not a mind reader. So I think all the love languages are mine.
And it's also too, evangelist. It can't be because of what's happening at that moment. If you just got a promotion at work, or you just got a new job, of course you want to be affirmed. You want to be told, I'm proud of you. You can do. We all want to hear that at time, right? There's time situation going on. You don't want to hear no word. You just need that hug. Just a two heart connecting, and like just no word, just their heart just connecting. That's physical touch right there, right? Or there's time you just want to sit down together and just watch a movie, no talking, no nothing, no gadget, just put on each other, or just lying on each other's shoulder, right? There's time for all of that you can incorporate. So we're not saying it's one size fits all, but your dominant one is the one you complain the most about.
That's true.
If you keep complaining that he does not say thank you, if he does not open my car door, if he does, all of these things that you complain that he does not do is really what you crave.
That's true. And that's your love language. That's your love language.
That's your dominant love language.
That's how you know what your love language is. Another thing I want us to touch on is asking your spouse how are they doing.
Yeah, not just to make conversation, but to be authentic, to be in the now and listen, right? By the time I say, how you doing? And then, before they could talk, okay, I have to take this call. No, be in the now.
Yes. Listen, ask them how they're doing. Every time, if I speak to my husband 5 or 6 times for the day, I'm asking him, how was you doing since the last time we spoke? Because change throughout the day, right? Don't feel like, or you shouldn't feel like if your spouse is asking you how you're doing, but didn't I tell you how I was doing this morning? No.
That to them is a red flag if they're paying attention that there's something wrong. Exactly. So what they need to do is to approach how they ask. What can I take off your plate today? Yes. What's your to-do list look like? Can we clear your calendar? Let's go for a walk. You know what I mean? So there's different ways to ask to get the answer that you want.
Yes, to get the answer that you need. Let me tell you something. I was watching this, I think it was TikTok video. A wife, she asked her husband, she was like, what can I do to make you a better person? And that's good. You know, how many wives is bold enough or husband is bold enough to say it? And you know, when he responded to her, he's like, support me more. And listen, ladies or gentlemen, when your spouse asks you what they can do to make you better or make the marriage better, be transparent and be truthful. And the person that's asking the question, when you get the answer, don't get offended if they say something that you're not doing. Just act accordingly as much as you possibly can. Say, okay, you say, you know, you want me to cook every day. Well, how about 4 times for the week instead of 7? You know,
Meet each other in the
negotiate.
middle.
You know,
Yeah.
meet somewhere in the middle. You know, and the man, her husband, was telling her what she was. He was like, okay, and she gave him high five because listen, we want to be supportive of each other. You know, so if my husband said, babe, you know, what can he do to make our relationship better? That's not something to put me down to say, oh, what if, am I not doing something right? You know what I mean? That's not what that means. That means I want to get to know more how I can satisfy you more. And it doesn't have anything to do with sex, right? It just, how can I make you smile more? You know?
Yeah.
So, when was the last time you asked your significant other? For those of you that are not married, but you're dating or courting, it's courting. Because when you're dating, you don't want to be doing stuff for people right off the back like that. But if you're courting to be married or even engaged, ask your significant other, what can I do once we get married to make our relationship gel? And you know, ask that question. And when they give you the answer, when they respond, make a mental note and or a physical note of what they're telling you, because they're actually telling you what they want, right? And so if after they respond to you and they ask you what can they do to make your life better or make the marriage better, be truthful and respond.
Yes.
I thought that was just so good that, you know, the woman, she sat down and she asked her husband, and he was laying down and he sat up and turned around and responded to her. And I thought that was very good because, and you know, they were of African American descent, and you know, we don't see too many positive role model in our community. You know, so when I personally see it, I make a benchmark to really, you know, really go out and support it, because we need to see more families that look like us. We need to see more people that are successful in their marriage. I mean, I want every marriage to be successful, because the goal of this ministry is we're saving marriages one family at a time. So I want to see all families come back together. Everybody, red, yellow, black, white. We're all precious in the sight of God. So I want to see every marriage work. So when was the last time you asked your spouse or your significant other how they're doing? How was your day? You know, that shows interest, right? Because if they're asking you and you're not asking them back, then it's a problem. You know, tell them something. You know, ask your spouse, babe, what do you want for dinner tonight? And if he said, well, there's leftovers, I'll eat that. It's like, okay. But you know, he or she may not want that the following night. So you know, we've got to get to know our spouse. Some persons are getting married and they don't know the person that they're getting married to. And we need to know our spouse. We need to know how to appreciate our spouses, because guess what? If we don't appreciate them, someone else will, and we don't want that to happen. We don't want Delilah, or we don't want that spirit to come into our homes and rob us of the love that our loved one wants to give us. So listen, to challenge each couple tonight. Look at the time. Time just go by so quick when we are having fun. But we
Yes,
can
if you
always
can
pick it
think
up next
about
week.
anything for this Valentine's, any gift, like Evangelist
Yeah.
said, take that time to have those authentic, genuine conversation and listen.
And
You know,
listen.
and
And
if
listen
you're in a
without
long distance
interrupting.
relationship, if your spouse not gonna be home, whatever method you're gonna communicate throughout this Valentine's weekend, be authentic, be in the now, be intentive, listen, not just to respond, but to take note, like Evangelist said, and execute on it. And you'll see a big difference in your relationship. Because men are speaking. They're
Yeah,
speaking.
they are, but we have to listen. There's one of the things that I wanted to talk, we're going to talk about, and we're going to do this again next week, because then Valentine's is on a Tuesday, and that's in the week. So I know a lot of people are going to make plans for the weekend. So we're going to come back next Monday. We're going to do part 2 of how you show love and appreciation to each other, so we can, say what happened to the Valentine's. Listen, this one thing I want to touch on before we go: be an active listener. Evangelist Nikki touched it, and there's a big difference between hearing and actively listening. So we're gonna explore that more next week, because a lot of persons are speaking and a lot of persons are not listening. They're not hearing that, they're not, you might be hearing what they're saying, but you're not actively listening. So we're going to explore that and some other ways that we can show appreciation to our Valentines. Like I said earlier in the top of the show, if you're not married, you have family, you have your sisters, brothers, you have cousins, you have godchildren, you have yourself. Right?
Yes,
You
it's
have
important.
yourself.
Self-love is important
Self-love
for
is
this
very
Valentine.
important.
Yes.
So if you don't have a significant other, listen, go out, buy yourself something, dress up and get up out the house. Don't be upset. Oh, I don't have any
Have a table
Valentine's.
for one.
That's right. Go ahead and eat. Let me tell you something. Listen, when you love yourself, you show love to yourself,
And
because
you
then
will attract it. You will
and
attract
you
it
will
back.
attract the love to yourself. All right. So listen, we gotta go. Listen, we just have such a good time when we come together talking about love. Like, love is a beautiful thing. So
Yeah.
the entire month of February, we're gonna be talking about love. And because we want you to show yourself love, and we want you to show your spouse love. All right. Um So I'm just happy about that. All right. And listen, do us a favor again. If you have not yet become a part of our Thursday night community on Zoom, you want to become a part of our Thursday night community on Zoom on Thursday nights before you say I do. This week, we're going to talk about a topic that I don't think a lot of people like. We're going to talk about, should exes be friends? Like, should you be friends with your ex-husband, ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend? Woo!
And Evangelist and we kind of in a gray area with that. So I need you guys to tune in to hear my point of view and hear Evangelist and the team point of view, because we have a lot to debunk.
Yes, so listen, join us. Listen, if you follow me on social media, you know the link. The link is there, and I want you to join us on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? So mark your calendars. Should friends? Come Thursday.
I will hold my answer
out.
until Thursday. Come on Thursday to hear our answer, guys. You don't want to miss it.
You don't want to miss it. All right. So have a good evening and happy Valentine's to those of you that are celebrating. Happy Valentine's. Love you all. Have an awesome evening. Have an awesome rest of your week, and show some love to somebody. Amen.
Show some love. Show some love.